30 minutes. It's 30 minutes of training that we have kept postponing and postponing and postponing, sir.
Oh, 30 minutes, babe. Anyway,
Okay. So yeah, welcome everyone to today's Draw.io training. Draw.io has had its name changed to diagrams.net for a long time now, but we are still calling it Draw.io because Mina likes Draw.io. So let me quickly share my screen and we get straight to business. Show the entire desktop. Okay. So let's start from the top. First, you have to access the application. As I mentioned before, it is diagrams.net now. So it is accessed at app.diagrams.net. There's a URL to get there. Let me paste that in the chat. This accessed at app.diagrams.net. All right. When you come to diagrams.net, if you tap on the link I have shared, it will probably ask you where you want to save your diagram, whether in Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox, GitHub, etc., or you just want to download it. On your first entry, I generally just skip to do it later when I'm ready to save. So you can just cancel that. Now, using draw.io or diagrams.net is the layout is similar to how you would use, let's say, Google Docs or the PowerPoint application by Google. That's Google Slides. Let me see. Slides.google.com. So you see that the layout is quite similar. The document itself is in the middle. Then on the left side and the right side, you have things that you can use to assist in the design work in the middle. It's a similar layout for diagrams.net. There are tools on the left-hand side and there are properties on the right-hand side. So the tools, you select one and you put it on the sheet. And if you need to fine-tune the properties of that tool, you come to the right-hand side and then you do that. So let's say, for instance, I want a circle in my diagram. I can drag a circle and drop it. Okay. The circles are on the left-hand side. Then if I want to change the color of the circle, I'll come to the right-hand side and come and change the properties of the circle. I can select from a predefined style, or I can choose colors from here, apply. I can change the type of line, whether it is dashes or dots or a straight line. And I can also change the thickness of the line. So on the right-hand side, you have properties. On the left-hand side, you have tools or shapes. There are general shapes gathered in this accordion view. Let me pull it up. There are miscellaneous shapes over here that help for some very, very specific things. If you need a table with values in it, If you want a table that looks like this, if you want a cube, I don't know what you are going to do with a cube. If you want an image, they are all there. If you want an elbow, these are miscellaneous. There are advanced shapes that, yeah, as you grow older in diagramming, you may actually want to make use of some of these advanced shapes. Then there are basic shapes, rectangle, partial rectangle, filled rectangle. There's a cone, there's a something star, 8-point star, etc. Then we have so many different arrows, arrow right, arrow left, arrow up, arrow down, chevron, and so on. Then we have actual elements used in making flowcharts. Basically, this is what you'll be using mostly. But in the general tab, you'll find some of these items as well. And the general tab is open by default. So you usually just be working from the general tab. But what we are going to be learning how to do is flowcharts. And these elements are used often in flowcharts. Then entity relation, there's more for the engineers when it comes to designing databases. And finally, UML is Unified Modeling Language, I think, or something along that line. And it has so many items. If you are doing a swim lane diagram, the components of the swim lane are over here, actor, use cases, lanes, etc. They are in the UML section. So yeah, that's a brief overview on the tools. Depending on the tool you select, or change what shows up in the properties section. If you have no tool selected, if you click on the page, then you have properties of the page over here. The page is currently A4 size. You can set it to a different size if you want, but more often than not, you may not want to modify the page size because you'll be exporting it as either an image or a PDF, and you want your PDFs to be A4 size. Okay, so without further ado, let us draw a diagram. I believe by drawing a diagram, you should be able to actually see what shapes are used in which situations. So let's quickly go to this EV network unit transfer portal that Amma sent to me a few weeks back. And let's see. So these people want to use USSD to sell airtime and data. Okay. And they gave us, either they gave us or we compiled this as a requirement. But when you give this to an engineer to start work, it is not so straightforward. The better thing to do is to actually put it in a diagram, in a flow chart, so that the engineer can tell that, oh, from this menu, the next set of menus to present are this, this, and this. Then they can flow from there. So this one says that from the first menu that we want to show is sell airtime, sell data, my account, fund my account. So let's go to our flowchart and then start. For this specific instance, for the instance of designing flowcharts for USSD, I would recommend that we don't use a fixed size page. Instead, when you click on the page, there are these properties. The second item over here is page view. If you uncheck it now, the whole page is visible. Sorry, we no longer have that demarcation of the boundaries of the page. So now you can just diagram to infinity. Okay, by removing the page view selector over here. So let's go to our very first menu. What you want to use for your first menu is either the rectangle or the rounded rectangle. I like rounded rectangle because I think it looks cute. It has rounded corners. And you can drag the edges to make it bigger. Also, you can double click on the inside to start typing. So what do we want to see? You want to see copy. We want to see, oopsie, paste. This is our first screen. When the user dials the USSD shortcode, they see number one, sell airtime, sell data, my account, fund my account. And immediately I can see that this thing is missing something. It is missing a welcome statement. So welcome to EV network hosting. I don't know what the actual I don't know what the actual name of the service is. But then you need a welcome statement before you just tell them to sell airtime, and sell data. And I don't even know whether the word they want to use is sell. Are they selling your airtime or you are buying airtime? Well, so we
Okay, they
have,
are selling, no?
they are selling.
Apparently they are resellers, Bisa.
So the end user is buying.
Yes. Am I that
Then
the case?
why?
I can clarify further.
And reseller.
Come again, you were breaking.
Can you hear?
Hey, you are just muting or muting or.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, better.
Yeah, you.
Okay, so this is not for the end user. This is for a reseller. So it's like the vendors that do Momo and kind of something.
Oh, really? Okay. Then this has reshaped my view of the whole thing. All right. Then I understand now. I understand. Because I was asking a couple of questions when you sent me the flow earlier.
Okay.
I was not thinking about it in terms of the person assessing the application is actually a merchant.
Hey, then thank God we didn't even get a quote for this one because like would have quote for the wrong thing.
Uh, okay. Now, I don't know how well my screen is rendering. When you hover over a shape, there are some faint blue things that show up. Are you able to see them? There's one arrow down here. There's another arrow over here. There's another arrow here. There's another arrow here. Are you able to see them? They are faint blue.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the arrows basically want you to connect the next step in the flow. So this is our first screen. if the user selects number 1, sell airtime, then there is a different menu that is shown to them. So let's do that. Let's hover over the blue arrow and then come down and select a second, what do you call it? Rounded rectangle. So this one is for the user who wants to buy airtime. Okay. So if they want to buy airtime, they actually have a full flow. The first step in that flow is to receive the recipient's phone number. So what will we show to the merchant? We will show enter the recipient's phone number. Okay. After having taken the phone number, the next step in the flow is to enter the amount of airtime to sell. So once again, you hover over the arrow and then you select, what do you call it? A rounded rectangle. So this time we want to what? Enter the amount of airtime to sell. My shapes are too big. Become smaller. Good. Yeah, now I'm making economical use of the space. Okay. So there is sell airtime flow, enter the amount of airtime to sell. Then let me show you something. You can double click on an arrow to put text on it. So let me double click this arrow and put the text 1. Meaning that coming from this screen to this screen, the user has entered the response 1. Then that's what will take them to enter the recipient's phone number, or it is taking them to the sell airtime flow. So enter the amount of airtime to sell is second. Enter PIN to confirm transaction. So let's do another one. Enter PIN to confirm transaction. Now, immediately going through this process, I am seeing one step missing. The missing step that I see is showing the user the data they've entered for them to actually confirm. So this enter PIN to confirm transaction, it should actually be a larger way. You want to sell 10 cedis airtime to 0244 444 444. Okay, this one where we are showing them the data they've entered. It's a very, very necessary step because they can't actually go back and go and check. They need to see that this is what I'm confirming. Just enter PIN to confirm does not work very well. So you want to sell 10 cedis airtime to this number, enter PIN to confirm. Then deduct airtime amount from reseller e-credit and send it to the recipient's number. So over here, we are going with a different shape. I want to use this shape over here to distinguish it from the screens. This shape is called process. This shape is called process. So this one is a process that is being done on the back end. So let's deduct amount from reseller credit. Resellers credit. See. Number 2, send airtime to recipient. And finally, send confirmation SMS to the reseller and the recipient. Excellent. Let me make this bigger so that it is not crowded. So these actions, they are not something we are displaying to the end user. Instead, they are actions being performed, or there are processes being performed on the back end. But once the reseller has entered their PIN to confirm, and then we are able to successfully do this, the next thing we want to do is to actually show the reseller a success message. Very, very important. So you have successfully sent densities airtime to 024444444. And then we have the flow for buying and for selling airtime. Now the steps involved were hover over an arrow, tap on it, and then select a shape. So far, the shape we have mostly been using is a rounded rectangle. Then you put text inside a rounded rectangle for what you want to do. When you are done with that screen, you hover over the next arrow. Then you select a rounded rectangle or whichever shape, and you put text in it again. I hope what I have demonstrated so far is clear. You can unmute and talk. I'm pausing for questions over here before you guys do practicals. Someone is speaking, but the audio is not clear.
Okay, Morgan, sorry. So everything is clear here, but I want to find out why is it that we have a lot of twos and you're using only the rectangle? Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, so for uniformity, I'm using rectangle to represent a screen that will be shown to the user. Okay, and then I'm using this rectangle with lines in it. This one actually has a name. It is called a process. I'm using process for something that is being done on the back end.
Okay.
Which is not being shown to the user. At some point, I will introduce this shape, the diamond shape. The diamond shape has a special use case, which I'll introduce.
Okay.
For the bulk of the work you will do, you only require rectangle and diamond. Once in a while, you use the actor. But for the bulk of your work, it is rectangle, diamond, maybe a process, and maybe an actor. But there are several other shapes which, once you become proficient in diagramming, you by yourself will explore and use more of them.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
So I am going to save this diagram to
Morgan,
Google.
please, I have a question. Oh, sorry, me dear, I've been having calls, so sorry. In case you have already explained this, I just heard you mention actor. What is the function of that?
The actor is used a lot when you want to distinguish between different users of the application. So
Mm,
if your application has um if your application has, oopsie, if it has portal user, you want to distinguish them, or let me say reseller. You want to distinguish them from another person that uses the application. So let's say another person that uses the application would be the admin.
okay.
If the admin dials the same code, you want them to have a different flow, then you use this and then you show a different flow for the admin. You understand?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Okay. But today we don't have actor in our flows. So let me quickly save this. Diagrams.net training. And I'm going to save it to Google Drive. Save. Okay, now it's in my Google Drive. I'm going to share the link with all of you. You have to be using your Nalo Solutions email when you access it. I'm putting the link in the chat. And what we are going to do is, you are all coming to access this document. And when you are on it, I'll see your mouse. Actually, I'll see your mouse pointer when you are on the document. And then you guys will fill out this other flows. So there's a cell data flow. There is the my account flow. There is the fund my account flow. So those are three flows. Mina, do you want to do some, or you want Ama, Tracy, and Success to do those other three?
Yeah, they should do it.
Okay. Have you guys been able to access the link? The document, no, how do I share the document? I'll just stop sharing my screen. Okay, I see Ama's mouse pointer. Ama is on the document. Left with Tracy and Success. You need to be in your Nalo. You need to have signed in with your Nalo email address. Okay, Mina is on the document as well. A. As Amma left the document.
But she's still on call. Amma, can you hear us?
Okay, she's back.
She's back. Tracy. Oh, for a second, I think she has internet issues. She keeps dropping.
Yeah,
Mm.
I've opened it, but I don't know if it's my network. It's not showing anything for me. Like I've opened the document itself, but then it's just the two tabs and then tools that are showing. Sure, it's my network.
Okay. You might want to refresh the page.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So let me show you something, some nice little thing. Everyone look at my screen for a while. You can highlight a lot of things, like multiple items, and just move them to the side. You see that? Just highlight multiple items and then move them to one side. So I have put the cell airtime items to this side. Now I have space on this side for the cell data flow. So cell data flow is over here. Let me make it bigger. Okay. Then if I want to do my account flow, but I want to do something different. Let me send this lower. Let me send it lower. I'm going to delete this connecting arrow, and I'm going to create a link from here to here. I don't want it over there. I want it, oopsie. I want it down here. So I'm going to label this the user selected one. I'm going to label this the user selected 2. Then I'm going to do a third one over here. Just delete this, then do a rounded rectangle. Bring it here. Then select this arrow and then move it down. Then indicate the user selected 3. Over here. And last one. Just selected 4. Okay. So now I've made 4 branches. Is that okay? So let me name this Amma, name this Tracy, and then name this Success. So what you are going to be doing for me is what you are going to do for me is, I don't know, do you have this document shared somewhere in your, what do you call it, PPMT chats?
No, so it was sent to us by email. So I have to put it in our chat box.
But everyone has access to the email, Anna. It was shared to PPMT.
Okay, okay. So it was
So
shared,
I think, come again.
it was shared by Samsung.
Okay. So we can look for the subject so that it makes it easier for us to use.
So for the next 20 or so minutes of the meeting, what you guys will be doing is you'll be populating the remaining screens and processes in the flow. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, please.
Exactly. So Amma, you get the cell data flow. Tracy, you get the my account flow. And Success, you take the fund my account flow. And I am going to look for a drink to drink. I'll come back in 10 minutes to come and see what progress you have done.
All right. Emma, have you found the subject?
Please, I'm coming.
Okay.
So please, I've sent it.
Okay, thank you.
and then yeah, I want to quickly comment on our progress before ending the session. So let's see. I see Amma has her first menu, select mobile network, enter recipient's phone number. Let me space this out a little bit.
Morgan, please, would you want to share your screen?
Oh, we are all on the page. We are all
Okay,
in
it's fine. So
just
it's fine.
zoom out so you can see.
Okay.
Okay. Enter recipient's phone number. Let me just make everything bigger.
Then let me just share mine because I'm saying this for the purpose of the recording. Since when we are replaying, we'll have
Okay.
to view it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm on Ames Lane. And so far, very good. I like what I'm seeing. It appears to be okay. You just repeated one of the steps twice. Now she has deleted everything. Undo. Okay. So Ames work so far is okay. You can select and delete the arrow. Excellent. Then you can select the other arrow and okay, that works. Let's look at Tracy's own. So Tracy, the problem I have with yours is these things are supposed to represent the screens that the user will see. Okay, so we can't put the text reseller's account balance on the screen. We can put this text as well, display current balance and available balance. You need to formulate the text which the developer will copy and then put in the code. If you put display current balance and available balance, you are leaving the developer to, so if the developer proceeds and just writes 500 CDs, 200 CDs, they have displayed the current balance and available balance, but then it does not satisfy what we want. So you want to display, you want the text here to be what you want the developer to display, okay? This copy and paste from the PDF, it does not work. Same over here, display last 5 transfers should show recipient number, amount, and transaction. In what format? Okay, in what format? So is it a list, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4? In number 1, here's phone number followed by a hyphen, amount, or phone number followed by a comma, the amount, and the type of transaction, whether it is credit, whether it is data or airtime. All of this, how you want the developer to display the thing, that is also how you want it to appear over here, so that there isn't any confusion and then lots of back and forth between you and the developer. Is that okay? Then the last branch is fund my account by success, enter the amount, send request to system. This send request to system is not a message we are displaying to the end user. It is a process being done on the back end. So the shape that you chose for this one, the shape is not correct. You are supposed to be using this shape, the process shape. Okay. So this one here implies that this is a message, this is a screen that will be displayed to the end user, but that is not the case. It is something that is being done on the back end. Same with load account with 4% commission. It's something that is being done on the back end. So once these back end activities have been done, we are supposed to show a certain message to the reseller or the end user. And that message is what actually goes in a rounded rectangle. I hope that makes sense.
Yes. I have a question. So with Tracy's flow, it seems like so everything is it fine to represent everything with the process since it's not something that um like it's supposed to be displayed in the menu for the USSD in the first place.
With Tracy's flow,
Yes.
they are not processes. So we want to see the user's account balance.
Uh-huh.
User wants to see their account balance.
Okay.
So a message like you have 500 CDs in your account. That's
Okay.
something that goes to be displayed to the end user. So it's
Okay.
not a process, it is a message, it's a screen.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
So with that, we have come to the end of today's session. I wanted to demonstrate something quickly. Let's scroll slightly to the side. I am putting something over there. So to the right-hand side of successes way. So let's say, for instance, the application that we are developing, it treats different users differently. There is a user that is registered, and then a user that is not registered, and we are supposed to treat them differently. Okay. Now, the menu that the registered person sees is different from the menu that the unregistered person sees. If that is the case, then we have to introduce what is called a condition. So let me click on this arrow. Then I'm going to select the diamond shape. Okay. So the diamond shape has these corners where we can branch out of. And then we can say is user registered ? So let me make this bigger. Is user registered? So diamond shape, we use it for what is called decisions. In the case where the user is registered, answer yes, then you are going to show the menu. In the case where the user is not registered, answer no, then we are going to show the registration flow. Okay, and this point of decision is represented with the diamond shape. Anytime you are looking at a flowchart and you see a diamond shape, they are talking about a decision-making step in the process. So is the user registered? If yes, then we are going to give them the menu. If they are not registered, we need them to be registered before they can proceed. So we will show the registration flow and then proceed from there. I hope this diamond shape explanation makes sense.
Yeah.
Excellent. So with that, we've come to the end of the training session. And yeah.
Malcolm, please, I have a question.
Yeah.
So you see that with usually with flow, I don't know whether it is flow chart per se, but there are specific symbols for the start and then the end. So before you begin the flow chart, maybe you're supposed to use the oval to represent the start, and then when you're ending, there is also some shape B or symbol B that represents the end. I don't know whether it implies in this situation.
Yeah, they are implied in this situation. But yes, when it comes to flowchart, we have what we call terminal symbols. So this circle is a start. If you look at the flowchart, you can actually see start, start. This is a terminator, which is an end. So
Okay,
this,
we're not seeing your screen, no, so it's difficult for us to follow through. Oh, you're showing it. Are you displaying it? Okay, I see it now.
I've dragged them onto the.
Okay.
So the perfect circle is a start, and then the extremely rounded rectangle is an end.
Mm.
Yeah, for this specific use case, you don't have to be so strictly abiding by the flowchart rules. But if you want the specific shapes for flowcharts, on the tools on the left-hand side, there's a section for flowcharts where you can the shapes and the name or the use case attached to them.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you too. I'm glad we finally got through this this session, and hopefully you guys will start using flowcharts to enhance your communication with the dev team moving forward. Is bye-bye for now.
Okay. Thank you so much, Morgan. God bless you. We appreciate your time and efforts. Okay. Bye.